Morning. September 27th last year, Jeff and Betty were at their home that actually Betty's father had built, and they'd raised their 6 children. And they said it really wasn't much rain, but in front of their classic Appalachian, these beautiful rolling mountains, the stream in front of their house started to rise, and it kept rising. And all of a sudden they realized the water was up to their porch. Next thing it's up to their waist. Next thing you're up to their second floor, which wasn't like a full height second floor, and the water's coming up there. Things were pretty dark. Fortunately, he said I could get up on the roof, but fortunately swift water rescue came, and I asked, was the water just like rising, right? No, it was rising and moving fast. So they got rescued out. Jeff had been a policeman and also been a mechanic, and he actually was suffering from degenerative back disease. Unfortunately, they weren't blessed with children, so they didn't have any, younger generation to support them. They lost everything, and it's kind of a hard thing to kind of fathom. So they've been living. They were living in a camper. They were one of the fortunate ones. They were able to get basically a manufactured house. They looked like a trailer. Was on piers, and it was moved up on the land. So that was that. But then, and they had only been there about a week. We arrived on our task, and this ASP is kind of for us as adults and the teens started in September, and it's kind of a gradual thing. And we arrived, and first thing we had to do is take the steps up to the trailer off, and our task was to build a pretty good sized porch and a long ramp. It was kind of first day, it was like we didn't get much done. Second day, I think we got a post up. And it's kind of, you're thrown together with some adults you don't know, some teens you don't know. It was kind of like Bolero's symphony, but as the week went along, you could see I was like the last day. I mean, we have one young girl, she's only recently came to this country, spoke very little English, and I really felt sorry because it's kind of isolated. She is with strangers, but what was kind of really cool was the last day I finally found like a task, and she just took it, and it was like with all the teens, they just took charge with that. But I think also one of the magic moments is every night we kind of go out to Dairy Queen, and it was almost like the last night, these 2 teens that were just fantastic. And they didn't really communicate, and all of a sudden, I don't know what it was, there was a mistake in the order. They think they gave a second one. I can't eat all that. So I just said, well, I'll help you. And then she finally laughed. And then all of a sudden, you just saw this chatter going back and forth among the teens relating to each other. Doing this volunteer, it's a stressful week, but it's like, to me, it was really fantastic. And I kind of like, as a pitch out to adults and teens. It's amazing the diversity of our group that's there. It's kind of like a United Nations that came together and go down and help these people. It's kind of, I'm getting too long, but it's kind of, God calls us to be his hands. Christ was the carpenter, and we kind of were being his hands, and bringing some light to a very dark situation for one family. And I reach out, and it kind of also the cool side on my as adult. We all had different skills. One lady's a nurse, but she would set up, and her actually a very important job was to make sure we were drinking because it was hot. But it was very rewarding. And I reach out to any volunteer organization, and I have this axiom: there's one constant in life is change. ASP moves, we need new volunteers to help replenish the stock. And if you do, what a great experience. I'm going to turn it over to Kira.
I'm Kira, and this year was my 5th year going on ASP. So I started as a freshman in high school, and I came back after my freshman year of college. And so this year we went to Carter County, Tennessee, which, as Mark said, was affected by floods from Hurricane Helene. So it was a little bit different this year. Normally we go and we repair people's homes. This year we were working on new builds because a lot of people's homes were just washed away completely and beyond repair. So my group, the house was sort of already built up a little bit, so we finished up some siding and we worked on a ramp, which is very important for people to have access to their home, especially as the house was raised, so that hopefully if there's another flood, it won't be, the flood won't do as much damage. And like I said, this is my 5th year, and every year I go on ASP, it's better and better. Like, my first year was so good, I was like, there's no way next year will be as fun or as rewarding, and it was, and it is every year. And I think there are 3 reasons for that. Our volunteer group, a lot of whom are here today, they're just such a great group, and everyone's willing to teach and to learn. And we learn so much from each other. We're a very diverse group, as Mark said. So that's one of the big reasons that I keep coming back. Another thing is I get to learn a lot of construction skills. I came in knowing almost nothing, and now I can I know how to use so many more tools, and I sort of know what it's supposed to look like before we start building it, which is always nice. And then the most important reason I keep coming back is because we get to help so many people make their lives better and whose lives are upended completely, and we get to come in, and even just the 1 week that we're there, we can make such a big difference in someone else's life. Thank you.